Well, this was frustrating. This was embarrassing, and this was honestly a very disappointing outcome from the Phoenix Suns tonight as we saw them get locked and loaded with everyone available for this ultimate game in the Summer League. Game 3 was ready to tip off, and the Suns just were not there as they fall short, unfortunately, to the Sacramento Kings in a game where a lot of people are going to try to forget, and a lot of people are going to kind of overreact too. But in today's episode, we're going to dive in and explore what went right, what went wrong, and what could ultimately help to benefit this Suns team as we still look at some of these promising young prospects. We'll be doing all of that and more. Like I said, on this episode of Suns Digest, I am your host, Bruce Velez, and you guys have been fantastic showing your love and support here on the channel, so I really do appreciate all the love that you guys have been showing us. So let us know down below in the comment section your guys' thoughts on this Summer League game, and if you ultimately were falling asleep, even if you are on the West Coast where it is now, getting closer to 10 p.m. We're over here on the East Coast. For us unlucky viewers who caught the game after a 40-minute late start, are now doing a video right at 1 in the morning. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's get into all the Sun stuff as just not fun. And there's a lot of ways you could describe this. Welp. Sheesh. Come on. Like, there's just a lot of ways that could realistically describe what we just witnessed and saw unfold as the Suns lost 94-76 to the Sacramento Kings. And like they said in the broadcast, it was really over in the first half. It's kind of very reminiscent of the Phoenix Suns during the regular season last year, right? Where they come out, they give you a solid first quarter, they die out in the second quarter. One of their players is absolutely torching the defense. Then they have a big lead, and then the third quarter comes, and the Suns are just not visible. Do not come out of that timeout. It's like the team got put to sleep at halftime, and then in the fourth quarter, they're just non-existent. Similarly, we saw that kind of Phoenix Suns from last year transition into tonight, and it is kind of sad. But for the Phoenix Suns, ultimately, I don't think that this is the worst case thing. Obviously, it was terrible to see them kind of fall flat, especially when Rasheer Fleming made his initial debut here for the Phoenix Suns, and we had Malawach, Oso, Ryan Dunn, Kobe Brea, and Rasheer Fleming. It was looking very promising going into the night, but ultimately, the outcome of what we saw unfold was not that bright or pleasant for any of us kind of trying to consume the game, get any kind of positive outlook from viewing these guys, which is kind of sad going in with all those expectations. But like I said, not the end of the world, because the Suns yesterday had already rested Rasheer Fleming, rested Kaman Malawach, man, whatever you want to call him, and because of those reasons, they lost to the Hawks, and pretty much were not going to make it to the semifinals anyways because they had already lost the game. So kind of going into this back-to-back, having everybody rested and fully ready to go, you would expect them to kind of come out guns a-blazing and kind of be able to hold themselves over versus the Sacramento Kings team. That was unfortunately not the case. Nick Clifford, Devin Carter were absolutely balling versus the Phoenix Suns. And we saw a performance where our rookies kind of looked like more of a shell of themselves, maybe represented what they actually are going to be for this Phoenix Suns team. But let's dive in and let's explore what really happened. The main standout from this game, once again, is someone that is viewed too good for this Summer League here as Ryan Dunn, obviously getting all the reps that he can to help out his offensive game, which we saw take a tremendous leap from college to the Summer League and preseason last year when we saw him having this three-point shot that was able to translate through the regular season. We saw Dunn be a solid role and rotational piece for the Suns here this year, his rookie season, getting hindered by Mike Budenholzer in the rotation, and ultimately could have had a better rookie season in my eyes. But clearly, he's showing within Jordan Ott and DeMarre Carroll's new system now, with DeMarre Carroll being this new head coach for the Summer League, that he can clearly function in it. He's had some good opportunities as well where I've seen him more comfortable in his three-point shot, specifically in this game as well in the first half and the first quarter, feeling comfortable with that three-point shot. And like I mentioned, he's been able to kind of to play some point guard, kind of take some control, attack downhill, work into some of these players as well to help out alongside of him. And I do think a guy like Ryan Dunn is pretty locked up for this Suns team here and trying to be an impactful role player. And that's why when we were dating to last season, when people were saying trade Dunn to get off Beal's contract, you don't do that because then you run into the Tamani Kamara situation 2.0. Speaking of his another player, his teammate from last season in Oso Ighodaro did not have as great of an offensive performance tonight as we have seen here. Struggled a little bit here in this game, but with the Suns kind of struggling versus the Kings in general, I don't necessarily take it as that much of a big concern. Kobe Bryant as well wasn't hitting those shots automatically, something you would not expect from him on this Suns team after the first two games, with him going, pretty solid from the line. He started out 0 for 4. Yuri Collins, someone that I tweeted out about that I was kind of high on after the first game. I said he better be on the Valley Suns this season after a nice lob, and then I said, yeah, this is going to be a love-hate relationship, as him and Boogie Ellis, even though I gave them praise in their video in Game 1, just cannot play make for this Phoenix Suns team. Yuri Collins has some opportunities where he can throw some nice lobs, and that's what I do like, was hitting some mid-ranges as well in that Game 1, but ultimately still is going to need to kind of work on his handle, work on his ball handling and ball control so that he can kind of keep this thing in place, because him and Boogie Ellis can't even get in some entry passes into these guys. It is just getting really bad, and the Suns kind of just point guard general role has been really hindering them, and that's what's making, Kaman Malawach not look that great as well, specifically in tonight's performance. 0 for 3, 0 for 2 from three-point range. Really looked like my guy Brandon Clean tweeted this out, and I remember this vividly from his tweet, and that's what really stuck with me with Malawach's game, which was that he is very reminiscent of an 18-year-old, and you could clearly see that in tonight's performance, where he was just trying to work in the low post, messing up the ball a little bit. He did have that early poster on in the game, but just seems to, like similar in Game 1, need to kind of get through these kinks of adjusting to the NBA and adjusting to this kind of speed of basketball. And that's the thing that everyone, when they see the 10th overall pick, expects immediate impact. Kaman Malawach is this sleeper of the draft. He's going to come into the summer league and average 20 and 10 and be this savior for the Suns. Guys, we need to understand that not only big men coming into the NBA take a lot harder for them to translate to pick up to the speed of basketball compared to guards and wings, but especially someone who's only been playing basketball since they were 13/14, being compared to Joel Embiid and his, understanding of the game at this age of 18. That's what you have to put yourself into this mind shell when evaluating Kaman Malawach. This is an investment process. This is buying into a guy who you're trying to utilize and bring out the best of with his game, trying to use him as a power forward / center, trying to get his three-point shot open, just trying to bring out the best potential in any single way that you can with his game. And then ultimately in this year or two, it's trying to figure out what parts of those offense and defense can thrive with Malawach, what can he present to be able to do on the court, the more the better. And then ultimately after that, in that small sample size, if they can figure out what he can do, what can he do the most effectively throughout this Suns system, so they can get the most beneficial factor out of a guy in Kaman Malawach, right? I don't see him taking 6 to 8 threes every single game if he's shooting 20% from three-point range. That's not something that's going to be happening in year 3, year 4, year 5. They're going to adjust, and they're going to tailor this offense and defense to this play style, particularly of Malawach, and how he can fit alongside Devin Booker. And that's what Summer League is here for, right? To find that out, and not to mention that a guy in Kaman Malawach needs a point guard who can set him up, make him play in the low post, give him the ball, work the pick and roll around him. Do we not just forget who I mentioned is his point guards right now? Yuri Collins and Boogie Ellis. Boogie Ellis, USC guy, give him his credit, a guy that was supposed to go, a little higher in the NBA draft, kind of fell out with that. Got to give him his credit as a three-point scorer. But Yuri Collins, Boogie Ellis, these are not high talented players, and once again, not going to be the point guards on the Phoenix Suns. If anything, they're going to be guards in the G League, and Kaman Malawach isn't playing in the G League. So for the Suns fans, the box score watchers, the guys that check the stats and just only look at stats, don't watch the game, please watch what Kaman Malawach is doing. And understand that he's an 18-year-old guy learning to grow into this team. Once again, the Phoenix Suns are not making these moves and becoming a 4th or 5th seed in the Western Conference. And we've said that multiple times. This retool is to figure out their identity, bring in this youth, and to get guys to understand their system and how they want to play. And specifically, in a summer league setting, overreacting on good plays and overreacting on bad plays isn't going to change anything crazy, because we still have yet to see what they're able to do for this actual Suns roster with guys like Devin Booker, Colin Gillespie in this guard room, and many others. Another guy that got his debut that a lot of people have been keeping an eye on was Rasheer Fleming. He looked pretty solid as well. We were 3 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from three-point range, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 rebounds. Looking like he can be a solid 3-and-D wing for this Suns team. Looked a little bit lost out there. I did see some tweets and I did notice myself from rewatching the first quarter at halftime, because I was doing my Celtics Digest video. I missed the whole entire first quarter. From rewatching that first quarter, I could see that, and that's what it's obviously going to take. Once again, for Fleming, it was his first game in this Suns rotation, so him trying to get used to that and trying to figure out his role after playing, 4/5 in college, now playing a 3/4 here for the Suns, it's going to be a little different. But I did like that point where he got that nice little catch, did a nice little spin, hit that little mid-range jumper. That was very nice from a guy in Rasheer Fleming. And then, basically everybody else got to play. Like I mentioned, Boogie Ellis had some big shots, trying to hit some threes, but couldn't really play make for this Suns team. Khalif Battle would be getting some minutes, got to actually see some time. Moses Wood, Solomon Young, and many, many others. But the main takeaway from all of this for you Phoenix Suns fans and for everyone that's paying attention is that this isn't an overreaction. We need to realize within the Summer League that good things are going to happen, that bad things are going to happen, but the Phoenix Suns that we're going to see on this court this season are not this G League roster, right? And the players that are on this roster that are going to be playing with the Suns are not going to be playing with this guys on the G League roster. Maybe Kobe Bryant is going to be, because he's on the two-way deal, but I wouldn't be shocked if Kobe Bryant gets a little bit of that Colin Gillespie treatment, especially if he gets introduction early on to the Valley Suns and he showcases that he can be a pretty solid role player for them. But like I said, the Phoenix Suns, in my opinion, the expectations for them this season is not high. It's going to be middle of the pack, towards the bottom here in this Western Conference, where I think they're ultimately going to finish between the 9th and the 12th seed here. With that being said, I do think that the Suns are going to provide some more fun basketball, some more entertaining and energetic basketball, and something that us as fans are going to be more enticed to watch on any daily given night. Maybe not tonight, but those last 2 games, at least we were bought in, and now we can finally kind of take the Band-Aids off, rest the Ryan Dunn, Oso Godaro, let our rookies get one last run here on Wednesday night when they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then we can go home, post the Summer League, worry about our Brad Beal situation, feel more confident in our selections in Brea, Fleming, and Malawach, and once again, get those guys working now with the guys on the actual Phoenix Suns, so that they can continue to grow, develop, and actually get used to this system with guys like Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, who have now been with this team, obviously now in Vegas, now that the trade has gone through. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Once again, like I said, disappointing loss, kind of embarrassing, not the greatest outcome you would want to witness as a Phoenix Suns fan on a Monday night here, kind of gearing up, getting ready for work for the next day, but like I said, it's not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is Summer League. Get it? Summer League. It is not the first day of the regular season. It's not even the preseason. So let's not start overreacting, getting mad at these players, calling them busts, doing all that jazz. But like I said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section, how you guys ultimately feel on the Phoenix Suns, this kind of core, this kind of team that they are building in. Who has really impressed you the most here in the Summer League? Once again, I do appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing. So let me know more down below in the comments section by leaving your thoughts, hitting that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.